Hey everyone, welcome to E-commerce Success by At360, the channel that makes you happy, productive and successful. Today we're going to respond to someone on the Shopify subreddit. They're asking for help because they're just getting started in e-commerce. They have no clue how to generate traffic on their website. And this is a very common situation for new business owners. So we're going to give them some help, describe different ways that you can generate traffic when you're getting started, and pros and cons for each method. Before we do that, if you get values out of these videos, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, put a comment below, and click the little notification icon. All these actions are going to help us grow this channel, make it more visible so we can help as many people as possible. It's going to take a second for you, but it's going to make a massive difference for us. So thank you. This video is brought to you by At360. At360 is the simplest way to increase sales on Shopify by managing all your marketing and advertising operations in one place. But more on that at the end of the video. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Today's post that we're going to review is from Elastic Skunk on the Shopify subreddit. Again, an amazing community. I love it. So many people share tips, advice, questions, problems. And so today the question is, how does everyone generate traffic? And they say themselves that they are new and clueless. So it's not myself that is saying that, it's themselves. So let's read the post. So they say, I'm struggling to get over 300 to 400 sessions a month. Okay, so that's already something, right? So it's better than zero. So that's about 10 to 13 sessions a day. So for someone that got started only in December, that's not bad. But I understand how you would want to generate more, especially since we discussed in a previous video on average, to use a very rough estimate, ballpark figure, you want about 100 visits on your website to generate one sale. So this means that on average you need at least 10 days of activity to generate just one sale, which is definitely not enough if you're selling artwork and t-shirts. So let's have a quick look at the website. So the that person is an artist, so they're doing they're drawing themselves, so they're sketching some comics or series or different cultural references, and they're making artwork based on that, and then they're printing that on t-shirts or just art prints, selling that on the website. Okay. So, and you started in December, so it's quite recent. And so how do you generate traffic? Now, I'm going to discuss today 4 main methods. Now, there are plenty more, but these are the main go-to methods of generating traffic. They're not exclusive, meaning you can do all 4 at the same time. But I'm going to explain each one's pros and cons. So the first one is SEO, or search engine optimization. So that means getting your website more highly ranked on Google, for example, so that when people type something like, if we use this example, you want them to type, Boba Fett t-shirt, you want them to find your t-shirt with Boba Fett on it, right? So the pro of SEO is if you manage to rank high on a frequent request, you can generate a ton of website traffic and a ton of sales for very little upfront investment, right? But you need to rank high. Now, the drawback of SEO is usually to rank high, you need to spend a lot of time and effort on improving your ranking. And that's mostly through quality and quantity of content on your website. So you need a lot more content, especially texts, because your products lack some text. Now, I understand you're more of a graphic designer or artist, you're not so much a writer, but if you can't do that yourself, some people below give good advice, such as you can hire people to create content for you. So for example, you could hire a writer to write about that. If you want to try yourself, you could say how you got inspired to make this design, why you love the series, for example, what makes you love Star Wars, what it means to you. Maybe you'll have a story to tell, a childhood story or whatever, some memories you have, and putting out this content maybe in a blog article, a blog post, because I don't think you have a blog. Maybe putting out a blog article like that can help the reader create a connection with you. And I think having that connection is going to increase the likelihood of the reader buying the product, right? If for artists like you, generally people who buy your products, either it's exactly what they wanted before, so they were looking for like a Boba Fett t-shirt, they find it and they buy it, or it's because they're a big fan of your work, they love what you do, they fall in love with your art, and then they buy it. And you're more likely to have fans like this if you create a connection through content. So it could be video as well nowadays on social media. That's method number 2. But just hiring maybe a writer or yourself taking the time to write blog articles or just more content on the product page could be a way to go. So second, as I said, social media. So nowadays I think you can't really run a business without social media, and you're already doing that. That's so that's okay. As people mentioned in the comments, I think you need to create content more frequently. So this user says daily content. So that's what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel and our blog on at360.media, our website. So we put out daily content, and I think that's super important nowadays to get noticed and create engagement with our community and the people that follow us. So I think you're not doing that on your Instagram, but you should try put out more content. And the other thing that people say is genuine interactions and participation in your niche. So for example, your niche, so for people who are not aware with that jargon, so that's a word used in e-commerce to designate a specific market segment or interest segment or product segment. So for example, in your case, Boba Fett drawing, if you make several, I've noticed you're a big fan of Star Wars, so you have droids here, you have the Boba Fett here, maybe you have more. So that would be a niche, for example, if you do like multiple drawings. So what you should do is, instead of just putting it out there on your Instagram account, you should try and find Star Wars communities who are big fans of droids. I'm sure there are many out there, R2D2 fans and something like that, and share this with them, right? Because right now the problem with your content is, regardless of whether we think it's great or not great, so that's up to everybody's appreciation. The problem is your content is not getting enough attention, right? I see these drawings only have 2 to 5 likes. Some of them have no likes at all, no comments. That's definitely not enough engagement. You want a lot more than that, because otherwise, it's definitely not going to generate traffic. If you post it and only, 10 people see it and 3 like it, you're not going to generate sales from that. You need your work to be seen out there. I read the other day the saying, if a tree falls in the forest, does anybody hear it? That's a good question, right? Did it even happen? I have a philosopher friend, Robin, if you're watching this, shout out to you. I'd love a podcast episode on this topic, right? So that's a deep question. But anyway, coming back to the content. So your content needs to be seen. It needs to be shared. Think of it as as something that your content deserves, right? You put so much time and effort in your work. This work needs to be shared, needs to be seen, needs to be appreciated by someone. And if you find the right person, I'm sure they will love it. And you have different inspirations, so that's really good. You can find different communities you share your drawings with, and some of them might come back regularly to see your new work. So you can find the Batman fans community, Dune, Star Wars, and many others. So I definitely agree with this comment that you need genuine interactions and participation. So the drawback of that is it's going to take more time and effort. And as they rightly say here, it takes a long time. So they say 1 year, could be even more to build up website quality score and put you higher in search results. So that's for SEO. It sure takes a lot of time, but for to get noticed on social media, it does take a lot of time too. But if you engage with Star Wars fans, Star Wars communities, could be on Reddit as well. I'm sure there are plenty of Star Wars subreddits. Share your work. If someone likes it and shares it with like 100k followers, it's going to make a massive difference, like day and night for your business. You're going to maybe have like 1,000 times the amount of traffic that you usually do on a day, right? So yeah, hopefully that can work out for you. Now, a shortcut. So the third method could be influencer marketing. So that would be reaching out to specific influencers. Again, I think the best bet in your case is to go out and find specific niche like Star Wars. Find out an influencer in a Star Wars community who really loves Boba Fett, loves the show, talks about it on numerous occasions. And I think a good strategy for you could be to print out a shirt or an outprint, mail it to them, to try and engage a conversation with them, show it that the t-shirt is right here for them, tell them you want to gift it to them, and try and send it to their address. And maybe it's going to work if they like it and they show it to their community, they share a story with the t-shirt on them, it's going to make a massive difference. Maybe they'll ask for, the drawback is they'll ask for most probably a financial compensation. So either an upfront fee or a share of sales proceeds. But if they generate a massive amount of sales, that could be worth it. So that could be considered. Now, the fourth method is advertising, and that's the one that I know best. I've worked for several years in advertising, and so generating traffic is not a problem at all with advertising. As they say, you can generate as much traffic as you're willing to pay, right? So the drawback of advertising is that you have to pay for it. So it takes money and budget. The good thing about advertising is it's if you find the right formula and you put $1 on the table and you get $5 or $6 in sales and maybe $2 or $3 in profit, then you have a massive successful business, right? So every time you put money on the table in advertising, you get more back. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, especially when you get started. It's not going to work out this well. It takes time and effort, trial and error to find the right message to put out there, the right people to advertise towards, the right community and group of people that will be interested in your product, how to hook their attention, how to create interest and desire for your products, how to generate better conversion rates on your websites, improve the website experience when they get there so that they click more often on the buy now button. So all of that takes a lot of work and refinement, but if you crack the code and make things right, you can generate as much traffic as you want to, and you can generate a massive amount of sales. So compared to the other methods, it has a much larger potential of sales, and it can generate results much quicker as well compared to SEO, where it's going to take at least a year before you're highly ranked. Advertising, if you do it right, can generate very quickly results. So depending on how quickly you want to, improve your website, how much budget you're willing to invest, there's a lot of information missing, of course, on your strategy and what you want to do, what you're willing to invest in your business. But advertising is definitely a method to get to the next level if you want to generate more traffic. Now, all these methods can be used at the same time. So it's not because you're doing one that you can't do the other. So, and I do recommend that you work ASAP on SEO and regular content generation and try outreach to some influencers. And you can do that in parallel with advertising. Now, if you'd like to learn more about how to advertise, where to advertise, how to set up targeting, I'd be super happy to help you. I'm the co-founder of Ad360. Ad360 is an app in Shopify where you can manage all your ads in one place. So that's Google Ads, and Google Ads is super vast. It includes, search engine ads, YouTube ads, display ads, Gmail ads, Google Maps ads, and many more. And we have Facebook, Instagram ads, and then ads all over the web and mobile apps on independent website, independent apps. So you can target, for example, websites, blogs talking about Batman, about Star Wars, and you can advertise on these websites. So if you do that, a specific ad that showcases one specific, for example, the Batman image, and you advertise on a website which talks about Batman, you're going to be more successful than if you just run a generic ads for t-shirts, right? So, or art prints. So the way you do advertising is super important. That's why if you want more help, I'd be super happy to do a conversation with you, and we can do free audit and free consulting. We can help you set up your advertising accounts, set up a marketing strategy and advertising strategy, and we can help you set up your first ad campaign and help you try and, work out what works, what doesn't work, until you get to that stage where for each dollar you put on the table, you get more back in revenue and in margin. And that's the goal. So hopefully you liked this video, you learned a few things, and hopefully we can help you succeed and be happy. So if you want to get in contact, I've put in the description below a link to book a demo. So feel free to reach out anytime, happy to help, and see you soon. Bye.